Hey guys, Jackie at Cruising the Sierra Farm. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. I apologize if I speak a little bit strangely, and you might notice that I'm pretty swollen right here. I had to have a tooth pulled and a bone graft done yesterday. This video was sparked by a circumstance that I had happen. Well, that I didn't have happen. It just happened to be in one of the milk cow videos, or sorry, one of the milk cow pages I belong to, which somebody basically wrote a post talking about all of these new homesteaders and them kind of basically not knowing what they're doing and possibly causing harm to animals, and not knowing how to feed them properly or care for them properly, etc., and so forth. And a lot of people agreed with that lady, and then a lot of people put in their own 2 cents, and it's the 2 cents that I want to talk about. But then also there was people that responded to that post saying, you know what, they basically, they said that they were tired of being treated poorly by those that think they know everything, and maybe they do know everything. Maybe they grew up on a farm from the day they were born, and that lady just felt as though, you know, farmers and ranchers that have been doing it their whole life are just rude, and they look at the new person in a light that's not so kind. And my thought process was, instead of like, I feel as though that post could have been done in a light that says, hey, if you are struggling with these issues and you're new to the cow community, then I'm willing to be here to help guide you along the way. Instead of making it about these new homesteaders that don't know what the hell they're doing and are putting these animals' lives in jeopardy. So put yourself out there to be helpful instead of condescending and calling people out. So I agree, there's all things that we can learn, but let's learn them from each other, right? I started documenting my experience with Coco so that others could understand that they had the ability to do exactly what I'm doing. All it takes is just a little bit of courage, and also having people that you can reach out to in case you run into issues or, you know, things you're not sure of. Somebody that you can actually reach out to that has been doing it a while and can offer you guidance. And those I'm finding in this community, and I'm sure it's with so many other different things, are few and far between. And that's sad to me. That's sad to me. You know, I want to go back to an older video I did. It was a shorts video, and it was on Homestead Heart. I love that lady and her husband. And she did a video about, you know what, we can't let this knowledge slip us by and not give it on to the next people. And if you know anything about this phrase, it's got a lot of history to it, and we're going to get into history in just a second. But the phrase is, each one teach one. So if you have that mindset, imagine how many lives you could change with that each one teach one, instead of the you don't know what you're doing attitude and you shouldn't be doing this. Now, I agree with that to a certain extent, but there's a whole different way that can be addressed, and in more of a helpful way versus the way that I'm seeing it being done. And I'm not the person that says how things should be. This is my opinion. And when I see posts and comments like I do like this, it absolutely turns me off. I left all of the chicken pages because of people like that. That's another history question we're going to get, or lesson we're going to get into. But research, back up, research, each one teach one. It had to do with slaves. And when a when a black slave would be taught how to read, that person then turned around and took that back to his people, and he taught them, each one teach one. So I wish more people had that that thought process in themselves to be able to do that for others. It is why I share all that I do on my YouTube channel. I want other people to be encouraged to try something new. And if they don't know how to do something, let me show you how, or tell you how, or please reach out to me in the comments and ask me how. So in multiple of the groups that I belong to on Dexter Cows, I have seen people ask, I'm planning on getting my Dexter cow soon. Will she be okay by herself? Or do I need to get another animal to keep her company? Or something similar to that. Or let's just say she's bred but not due to calve for a while. Will she be okay until the calf comes? So I always share my video of Coco and Jess. Yes, you. I know. Yes, you. So, and that's because, like, so let's back up. If you haven't been following, if you're new to this channel, I've already spoken about all of this, but I'm going to touch a little bit on it so that you understand in this video. I bought Coco. She was a wild cow, never had a halter on her, didn't get touched. And I took her from her herd. She was pregnant. I bought her in May. I trailered her 6.5 hours home. She'd never really truly been in a trailer, except to move from one paddock to another on a large ranch that she came from. She was pregnant and due in September. I bought her in May. So 4 months she was going to be without a herd animal with her. I know that they say that cows are herd animals. Horses are herd animals. And I had so many people telling me she's not going to be okay by herself. And at least you need to get a goat to keep her company or what have you. And the more and more I see people that are berating others and telling them you have to have, it has to have. Well, you know what? Not all of us have the funds to buy a second animal. And we are looking to keep ourselves in this today and age where food is costly. It's out of stock a lot of times. And people are just wanting to be more healthier. And it's just, it takes me back to, you know, let's just go back to the Old West, the 1800s, okay? 1800s, homesteads, women basically kept everything functioning while the man was out working and trying to earn money so that they could build and grow, right? And the woman was home, and most of the time she had a cow, a dairy cow, a cow, singular, a pig for the meat and the lard, and some chickens for the eggs and to keep the compost and if there might have been any leftovers to eat. And she'd be gardening. And that could mean plowing the fields while her husband was off doing whatever he had to do to bring the money home. She was keeping the homestead alive with a singular milk cow and a few other farm animals. It was, I mean, like it was just like it is in today's day and age, where, you know, it's the people that have 1,800 head of cattle that could afford that. But your regular person could not afford more than one cow. So how did those cows survive? Well, they survived well enough that they provided for those families. I'm going to tell you a little story. So this mountain range right behind me, this is another like whole herd animal type story. For at least 15 years that my husband's aware of, there was a once wild, well, I mean, he still was wild at that point. There was a horse, a lone horse at 10,000, between 10,000 and 11,000 feet up in those mountains right there, living alone. No human, no herd. And he thrived by himself through cold ass winters, pardon my language, cold winters, and no people, no herd. He was wild at one time. He had a cryo tattoo on his neck. So our assumption is that he's actually famous. He's got a Facebook page and everything. And I have a couple beautiful videos of him. I got pretty close to him. And I took a photo and I did a piece of rusted steel art that I do of him. And it sold to a local lady up about 45 miles up the road. But anyway, he had every opportunity to find a herd, and he didn't. He stayed in that area alone and fared through really gnarly winters and long hot summers, and he survived just fine with nobody except for the people that would take their Polarises or their four-wheel drive pickups and drive all the way up there to see him. And that's what we did every year. We would go up to see him to make sure he was still alive and doing well. So, it kind of makes me go back even further to like chickens and the chicken pages that I used to belong to. And these people, I believe that animals are reliant upon you and can only thrive so well without you because of the ways that you are with them. I'm just saying, in this case, one of the chicken pages that I used to belong to, there were people bringing their chickens indoors during, indoors, in their bathrooms, in their living rooms, in tents, because they were going to have a big freeze. My thought process is if you're bringing them in, you're just making them unable to be in inclement weather. So then you have to do it every time? Come on. Like, I struggle with that. And I just feel as though not every situation is going to be the same, obviously, with cows, back to cows. And it might not be that the people that are going to have that lone cow are going to have the time that I had. Hi, Brogan. Are not going to have the time that I had. Brogan's right there watching and listening. Are not going to have the time that I had to spend with Coco. And, Jess, my dog, became her companion, and I became her companion that got her through those 4 months. And now that I've said that, I'm going to backtrack to the Facebook groups. In that post that somebody wrote about the homesteaders, all the new homesteaders, there was a gal that, without saying my name, brought up the whole, oh, and this one's my favorite. My dog is her companion, or I am her companion. Well, guess what? Another friend in the Dexter community made me realize this morning, people can sometimes be jealous of your successes. I was pretty successful with my cow being alone for 4 months until she calved. And I'm going to always share that information out there for somebody who might possibly be curious or wondering or worrying about their cow. And will it be okay by itself? I mean, there's been lots of time in the past that cows have just been fine on their property, on their homestead, being a milk cow. I mean, again, back to the whole being able to afford things. If you want to buy yourself a really true, like, excellent lines, excellent milk lines, been like the whole herd has been handled, and you can milk her from pretty much day one, because they are started at birth to be the next milk cow, you're going to spend like $5,000. So to get her a companion, that's expensive. That's expensive, and not everybody can afford that. So instead of making a mockery of how somebody has actually succeeded in what they've done, why not just say, wow, she was pretty successful at that, and if this person's cow is pregnant and going to be due shortly after picking her up and taking her to their home, maybe she'll be fine too. I think people are so stuck in a way that they think about things that they can't think outside the box or try something new, or, do their best at making sure that that cow was fed appropriately, made sure they had water and shelter and good fencing. If you've been following, you know why I'm laughing about that. Instead of, chopping people down. So yeah, I'm proud of my accomplishments, and I want others to know that, things are possible, and to remind them of how history used to be. And I'm proud of myself for that, and I think that others have the ability to do the same, and to also not be so freaked out about, having that lone cow for a while until she calves. And if you have other barnyard animals, great, all the better. And it might not be that everybody's dog is as wonderful as mine is to have a relationship with your cow until that time. I had people, I had shared videos of Jess and Coco together on some of these pages, and a lady got upset with me because she said that I was allowing my dog to harass my cattle. Are you kidding me? You should watch the video again. It sure didn't look like she was harassing anybody. In fact, Coco licked him all the time and nurtured him all the time, and they played together all the time. I don't know. I'm not trying to be, I don't want to level down to where they are at with their behavior. But at the same time, people just need to be more, supportive and more, positive. You'd be surprised at what you're capable of doing without everybody's input. How about that? Without everybody's input. And so I'll take my successes every day, and I'll share my successes every day, and I'm not going to allow anybody else to bring me down. And I'm going to always share that information with others. And maybe it's not as successful as my experience was, but it's doable. And I don't think it's right for other people to say that it's not. So yeah, if you can only afford one cow and that's what you're set up for, then do one cow. You'll be fine. And especially if she has a calf on her way. And yeah, so I wish all you guys success in what you're doing with your Dexters or whatever milk cow you have. And that is my Saturday video. And if you guys have any questions or comments, especially if they're nice comments, leave them in the comment section below, and I will definitely get back to you. I love interacting on my YouTube channel, so I look forward to that, and I hope y'all have a fantastic rest of your weekend. Until the next video.